Hey guys, welcome back. Besiege early access coverage. This is episode 5. I'm Igneous, and today we're building a 4-speed transmission. That's right. I know what you're thinking. Last episode we're talking about just taking one or two new components an episode and, keeping things pretty simple and straightforward. Believe it or not, this is actually really simple and straightforward. This is the proof of concept design that I did, and there's a reason why I'm not showing you guys how to build it. It's not because it's a secret, and it's not because I'm trying to be mean. It's because we're going to do a better version this episode that does everything that this one is doing in about a third the space, and it's going to leave room for what we're going to be doing in the next episode, which is enhancing it so that it works even better. Now, the whole purpose here is if you've got something really heavy that you want to spin around, the mechanisms that are in the game currently to spin it around really, really fast, if you just try and do it the simplest, most straightforward way, it tends to rip the machine apart. So it falls to us as the players to come up with ways of looking at these different things and trying to figure out a way to improve the way that they're working so that we can get the results that we want within the framework of the game. And in this case, we're using powered cogs, unpowered cogs, and pistons. So I'm treating the powered cogs and the unpowered cogs as basically the same thing, because unpowered just means it sits there. It'll interact with powered cogs and other unpowered cogs that are moving. But if you want to actually create motion with the cogs, your best bet is with a powered cog, which is just like the wheels in the game. It kind of sits there unless you push a button, but it also has the option to have it so that as soon as you press play, it starts spinning on its own. So that's basically what we're going to be doing, and then the pistons will allow us to move those cogs around so that we have different cogs interacting with the gearbox, so to speak, at different times. And some of you are like, oh my god, I'm not going to understand. It's simple. It's so simple, and it's fantastic. I'm having so much fun with this. So this is going to be the compact version. You're going to see it put together block for block, and you'll see just how simple it is. We're just building a base right now, something that it can sit on that's going to be stable. And then we're going to take a couple of the small wood blocks, and we're going to put them in positions around the base. As soon as I remember what the small wooden blocks are, I'm counting is what I was doing to figure out where I needed to put these guys. We put them around the base like this, and then we put one in the middle. Are we going to do the middle one now? Or are we going to? Yeah, we're going to do the middle one now. And then we're going to grab the pistons. Now these pistons are really, really straightforward. We're putting them on their side. We're actually attaching them to the side of the wooden blocks that we put here, so that when we press the hotkey that activates the pistons, they extend one block, and then when we release the hotkey, they retract that one block. They go back to their starting position. So you can see we've got 4 of them, but in this case, I'm changing their hotkeys, so each one is going to be on its own hotkey. I'm using 1, 2, 3, and 4, corresponding with 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th gear, if anyone was kind of curious. Really, really simple, straightforward stuff. There's nothing here that's particularly complicated, and there's certainly nothing here that's particularly technical, right? We're just talking about a block that slides over and then slides back. Really straightforward. These are the unpowered cogs, the one that I just put in the middle, and then the ones that have that little red arrow are the powered cogs, and it's showing me what direction that they will spin in when you press either the button to move forward that's assigned in their hotkeys, or when you have them set to automatic mode. We're going to set them to automatic mode because they're only going to need to spin in one direction, and we don't want to have to worry about activating them. So we set to automatic, and we also set the first one to speed 0.5. This one we're leaving at speed 1. The third one we're going to set to speed 1.5, and then we're going to forget to set it to automatic, but we'll come back to it in a second. And then the fourth one we're going to set all the way to the maximum, which is 2, and set it to automatic. So when we press play, all 4 of these are going to start rotating in the same direction, but they're all 4 of them going to be at different speeds. Now you can kind of see, if you look at the one closest to the bottom, and then work your way counterclockwise around, you can see the one on the upper left, so to speak, is the fastest, and kind of goes around from there. And you can see we're using the pistons individually with the hotkeys to push the powered cogs into the unpowered cog, and then the unpowered cog starts spinning at the speed of the powered cog. Now the reason why we're doing this, like I say, if you start trying to move heavy things at the maximum possible speed, from a dead stop, things tend to rip themselves apart. So we start off with a lower speed, Then we switch it up to a slightly higher speed, then a slightly higher speed, and then finally the maximum speed. Right? Really, really simple stuff. There's nothing complicated about that whole idea of starting off slow and then generally, gradually picking up speed. And we're using some braces here to kind of shore up the base a little bit. And it's a good idea as I'm, anytime I'm building something like this, I'll do little tests of systems as I go, and if it looks like they're pretty wobbly, then I'll put in some braces and I'll make sure, try and make sure that it's stable before I carry on and add anything else that's just going to make the whole thing fly apart. And you can see, really straightforward the way it works. It's simple, it's compact, compared to the one that was, spinning around at the beginning of the episode. We took that whole big clunky thing and we've condensed it into this. That's right. I mean, a hell of a lot easier to envision this and start building it and working with it than it is the other one that looked like this big complex monstrosity that no one in their right mind would ever try and build in a video game unless you were an engineer already, just because of the way it looks. So this is really simple, straightforward. Putting a big, bulky, nasty propeller that's not even a propeller, it just looks like a propeller. We're going to put some braces on it because we don't want the tips to be sagging. Before we're done, we're going to find out that it wants even more braces. But you'll see, it's actually really interesting when you've got something that's moving, interacting with something else. If it's not interacting very well, it creates this big puff of dark purple smoke. And you're going to see a lot of that here because of the speed of the gears that we're using. But for proof of concept purposes and building something that's going to work kind of sort of the way we want it to, it's not too bad. You can see how the very base of it is just like leaning. As soon as we engage first gear, it's not the best. That's not the best at all. That's probably the kind of thing that leads to a disaster with something flying off the machine shortly after we start to use it. So, oh yeah, there we go. It's a little bit wobbly, just a little bit. What we really want to do is stabilize that. And the interesting thing is that you can add braces and they don't clip with a lot of things, apparently. I was reading the wiki today. I was looking at the wiki. Here's the purple smoke you can see, and it smacked the third gear powered cog, which is still spinning and bouncing around on the ground. So we definitely need to shore this up. But I was reading in the wiki today, and it was saying that braces don't collide with a lot of things on your machine. I haven't thoroughly tested it, but it was just interesting to read that today. I don't necessarily want to take advantage of that, so we're putting some braces on the base, and we're hoping that that's going to help, stabilize things. And you can see already it did. It went a long way to stabilizing it. It's not leaning like a tree in the wind anymore. But it's still, you can tell it's resisting being brought up to speed because it's big and it's heavy and it's bulky and it doesn't want to move. It's the whole inertia thing. So then we engage second gear and look at the smoke. Oh, this smoke. But the speed that it's going at is just outrageous, which is fantastic because it's, again, proof of concept. Things are working mostly the way that we hoped that they would. And now it's really just a matter of kind of taking a look at it and fine-tuning it and deciding what we need to do. First thing that we need to look at is I still want to be able to bring it up to the maximum speed that the cogs will allow, the 2.0 speed, or twice the default speed, so to speak. And I was having troubles getting the higher gears to engage, and I thought it was maybe a key binding issue, and then I completely messed up the key bindings, so I have to go around and fix them. But right now, there's not a big enough difference between the bottom speed, there's too big of a difference between the bottom speed and the top speed. We need to kind of send it through more gears a little bit more gradually, and I know how I'm going to do that. I just have to build it, and then we should have something that starts out very slow and very gradually but very stably accelerates our little propeller device to ludicrous speeds. And then, like I say, we can probably test it out carefully with decouplers and things attached to the ends of the propellers that will go flying off, hopefully at extreme rates of speed, just for the icing on the cake. So I'll let you guys finish watching sort of the test run here. We're not going to be doing much more for the building. It's basically as builds go. This one's pretty much complete. And then, like I said, the next episode, we're going to start building the refined version that has more gears. I love the purple smoke. It'll have more gears, so it's more gradual increase in speed. We should be able to get it up to top speed without much purple smoke. And then we'll attach things to it and see if we can't hit things by flinging them off. So if you want to be notified when I add that video, the smoke... You can subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on social media, get notifications that way. Links for social media always in the information section below the video. Please leave your comments and feedback. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.